Hey, I'm Brandon with Ghouls, Guts, and Gore. In this The Conjuring 2, is that weird? Should I say in this The Conjuring 2 or in this Conjuring 2? Because it's called The Conjuring 2, but it sounds weird to say it that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, just say in this Conjuring 2 inspired film.
Okay, perfect. Hey, I'm Brandon with Ghouls, Guts, and Gore in this Conjuring 2 inspired tent to talk about 10 reasons why The Conjuring 2 is an instant horror classic. I just saw this movie at the Aero Theater in Santa Monica. James Wan, Vera Farmiga, and Madison Wolfe were in attendance for this screening and was completely blown away. It's absolutely relentless, so let's get right into it. Number 1, it's a true story. The Enfield Poltergeist is one of the most notorious ghost stories to come out of London. Whether you choose to believe the controversy of the events that happened from 1977 to 1979 is really up to you, but knowing that this movie is based off the real Hodgson family and what they went through and their stories makes it all more disturbing to watch. 2. James Wan is at the top of his game. The in-camera effects, the Steadicam work, the long shots, crane shots, it's just incredible to see, and the cinematography is amazing. James Wan is at the top of his game and his storytelling has never been better. This is a movie filmmakers can analyze and appreciate for years to come. 3. The tension. One of my favorite scenes in this movie will be burned in my memory for a long time. It involves one of the creepiest paintings I've ever seen and Vera Farmiga alone in a room. Or as that scene progresses, not alone. This scene is just a brilliant setup and is captured beautifully. You could just, sitting in a theater packed full of people, you could just feel everybody clenched in their seats during that moment. 4. The demonic presence. Most horror movies usually only have one ghoul or demon that's memorable, if they're lucky. The Conjuring 2 arguably has 3 different appearances that will haunt your nightmares. We'll be seeing Halloween costumes and cosplayers tributing this one for years to come. 5. The score. James Wan has always used music to bring his horror movies to life and scare the crap out of you. Who can forget the first time you saw Insidious with the really intense string music? Well, in The Conjuring 2, he uses this demonic, Gregorian-like chant with these deep baritone humming voices that's really creepy. And he honestly knows when to silence the music where you can hear a pin drop, and then ramp it up where the hairs on your arms stand on end because you're so freaked out. 6. The soundtrack. This is different from the score of the movie. I'm talking about the actual songs that are in the film. All of the songs are pre-1977 because that's the setting of the film. There's just some really nice tone-setting songs like Bus Stop by Grant Goldman. And the movie's set around Christmas time, so you get these Christmas medleys and the first Noel used in a kind of creepy way to emphasize the religious undertones of the movie. And then finally you get Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love becomes a prominent relationship bond between Ed and Lorraine, which leads me into my next point. 7. Characters you actually care about. Ed and Lorraine's relationship as paranormal investigators is broadened quite a bit throughout the movie, and Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga have great chemistry. These two really feel like they love each other, and they're given screen time to actually show how much they care about each other in just these really subtle moments. At the Q&A, James Wan actually talked about the first scene that he wrote for The Conjuring 2 was a scene where Ed is actually playing guitar for the family at the house, and Lorraine's standing kind of nudged up against the wall, just watching him lovingly, and it's more or less like Ed singing that song to Lorraine, and the acting in that scene is phenomenal between Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. You really grow to actually enjoy these characters and care about what happens to them throughout the movie. 8 is the acting. Everyone's good in The Conjuring 2, but Madison Wolfe as Janet Hodgson delivers one of the best child acting performances I've ever seen. She plays the creepy aspects really well, and then there's some sensitive aspects that she delivers on, and it's really the best child possession role since Linda Blair. 9. The setting. The house where the paranormal events take place in the town of Enfield in North London really plays on the gothic, dark, Victorian-era architecture. The house is shown kind of falling apart with creaky stairs and peeling wallpaper, worn-out wood, creaky floorboards, worn-out leather. And while a lot of haunting movies or paranormal movies are set in a family's old house, You won't find a better use of shadow and corners and just the feel of the house in this movie. I don't think I'd want to spend time in this house. Number 10, a horror sequel that's actually good. Let's face it, most horror movies have the first one that blows us all away, becomes an instant classic, and then the sequels can never really live up. The Conjuring 2 cranks things up to 11, and like I said at the beginning, it's just a relentless horror movie. So much happens, but the pacing is really thought out and really moves, and in my opinion, it exceeds the successes of the first movie, and is going to be one that I'll love to go back and watch for years to come. Thanks for watching this Saw It on The Conjuring 2 with 10 reasons why it's an instant classic. Subscribe to Ghouls, Guts, and Gore on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I hope you were horribly entertained. And where did I put that fire engine? And it's literally turned into a witch hunt of its own, where people that love the movie are defending it and calling out those that didn't like it as uneducated or don't know how to analyze movies or are just plain stupid. And those that did not like the movie are calling out all the critics or people that like the movie as jumping on a bandwagon.